Well, good evening, all. Ira Epstein with your Metal Market Wrap-Up. And this wrap-up, I'm very early on. It's 4:35 p.m. Central Time on this Tuesday, the 30th of January, 2024. I'm early because I have family in from out of town. They'll be here for a week or two. And tonight, Bulls game, so I wanted to get this out of the way so I can make it there and enjoy taking my son. All right, so as we're looking at the markets, earnings came out late in the day, and to me, because the market's up so high, you're vulnerable. So you're seeing a little bit of a setback in the NASDAQ. This is where it settled. Afterwards, so many companies, Starbucks, Alphabet came out. I'm just thinking of all of them. There's so many. Stryker. It was one after the other. And we'll see just how the market goes. I never go by the initial reaction. Markets look at it, then they have to get into the conference call. The conference call, the different CEOs say one thing, they offset it with another, and the market either likes it or doesn't and comes back. So I always wait and see what the overnight markets will do. What we do know is the Biden administration has come out and said that, yes, there will be reprisal. They used Anthony Blinken to come out and make it very clear that the reprisal will be at the U.S. time and choosing, of course. Where I hated that Biden said we won't attack on Iran's soil. He should have just been quiet on that. It doesn't matter where the attack's going to be. It'll be something countering it. But again, are we going to get some type of truce between Hamas and Israel? That is really first and foremost. Because if you can do that, then everything sort of dies off. So we can wait on everything else, and I think that the logic tells you that. The Biden administration did announce today they're buying another 3 million barrels of oil for the strategic reserve, so tenders will go out on that. Oil prices were higher. You've got to move to the April oil now, remember that. Grain markets, a strong up move. They have been down, pressed down very hard, and I think they surprised some people with the rally. In the gold market, we went over previous high. We got up as high as 2048.5 and then settled near the lows of the day. I mean, it was actually in a day that wasn't all that wild in the sense of that. Silver market, normal, about a 30-cent range. Copper market keeps picking up, another $3 increase in overall price as the market is hoping, fingers crossed, that China is doing something constructive for their economy. Now, before we go into the charts, why don't we see the data that's going to come out tomorrow and take that maybe first, and I'll do that. Tomorrow you get the Mortgage Bankers Association, and they'll come out at 6 in the morning. And the big question is, have interest rates holding here near mortgages, 30-year mortgage, about 7%? What's that doing? ADP going to come out with their private sector payrolls. I'm pretty sure Challenger Gray will give us the corporate numbers tomorrow, too. Analysts expect job gains of 150,000 compared to the prior month's 164. Fourth quarter 2023 employment cost data comes out Wednesday at 7:30. They're looking for that to show a 1% increase quarter over quarter. We get the January Chicago PMI number coming out at 8:45. They're looking for a 48 versus a 46.9. You got to cross 50 to see that things are actually picking up. The Federal Reserve, that's going to be big. At 1 o'clock, we get the monetary policy statement. At 1:30, Fed Chair Powell's actual conference. And people are going to look at the wording. Nobody expects they're going to make a move at this meeting. I mean, 99.9%, no chance of anything. The key is in the wording. Are they going to take away risks to the upside? That's what I'm looking for. The key in the meeting, asked, are they starting to discuss rate cuts? And the answer is by the Fed chair. He'll probably put that off. He'll answer it, but he'll say, no, it's too blah, blah. We're data dependent. Maybe we're talking about it. Who knows? The market will go word by word, and everything's going to be very, very important basis that. Do remember we still have the UK, Bank of England. Do remember we have the jobs report on Friday. So there's still a lot of data coming at you. All right. So let's take a look, if we could, at the chart action. And this is where I was just a moment ago. Gold had corrected, and it's turning away from trying to get, so far at least, to the 18-week moving average of closes. You can see how the market's come down here. Nothing special. It's just sort of drifting around. The pattern is not trending yet. You have made a higher high than this high, so now you have a lower low, higher high. That breaks this downtrend pattern, but doesn't necessarily start an uptrend pattern. The market got over the 18-day average of closes and is trying to stay over it, as you could see. That would give the market an upside bias. The resistance right above the market coming in at 20.52.20 on the upper Bollinger Band, and that should fall a little bit when the market reopens in about 30 minutes from now. In terms of momentum, you've been oversold. The market did make a test of the 200-day average a couple of times here, and I told you, I don't like selling that first challenge of those tests, and it proved to be a good move at that point in time. When we look at the gold-silver ratio, the reason this is colored silver is the market staying under the 18-day average of closes, and as the numbers get smaller, it means you need fewer ounces of silver. In a perfect world, to just go to a store and say, here is my 87.47 ounces of silver, give me an ounce of gold. That's what it means. And if it drops, it means silver is, relatively speaking, stronger than gold. You need fewer ounces of silver. Silver has rallied up like gold, but it hit the upper Bollinger Band and challenging right here, as you can see, the 100-day average of closes. So it's in its resistance zone. The trend is up unlike gold. The bias is up unlike gold, but you are in a serious resistance area. In the copper market, finally, you got to the upper Bollinger Band today. I don't look for it to go very far from here. Markets often peak out in that general area, the first test of it. Trend up, bias up, but hit an objective. And in the process, you spent out of your energy, your fuel cell. You've gotten yourself overbought in the market. Platinum market got up to the 100-day average and the 18 and just ran out of steam. It hasn't gone anywhere yet. If it can get a supercharger out of something and clear the highs of Monday, you open up the door for potentially getting to 967 to 977, the 200-day average in the upper Bollinger Band, but it seems to have run out of momentum right here, not going very far. Last, don't try to be a wise guy with the dollar. We have to wait and see what the FOMC says. Press conference. Number 2, market reaction to it all. Number 3, you'll have a lot to talk about come 2:30 in the afternoon. Generally speaking, about 2:20, the conference ends and we see how the market goes. Now, remember the yin-yang impact. I teach you this all the time. Because of when the Fed conference takes place at 1 and then the press conference begins at 1:30, generally ends 2:15 to 2:30, something in that time frame. What time is it in Asia? They're sleeping, getting ready to wake up. Europe, they're out to dinner already, right? 6 hours, 5-hour difference. They're gone. They're not in their offices. People aren't paying attention. So as China gets up and reacts whatever they're going to do, and then Europe reacts, by the time it comes back to us early in the morning when I'm putting out the morning subscriber video, then we have a heck of a lot that we can talk about together. So that's exactly how I'm going to play it. I think there'll be a lot for me in the morning subscriber video to talk about, digest how the market's reacting to it. We'll take it the next step. Bank of Japan watching very carefully right now how labor negotiations are going. The big unions seem to be asking for 3.85% increase on negotiations. They negotiate as a huge group all at once. I don't think that's high enough. And I want to see what goes on. Unemployment there, still falling. So they're getting full employment, like 2.7% unemployment. So that's pretty good. Again, if you want to find more information, you go to our website, iraepstein.com. The courses are under education. The research is under the word research, and our free offers by free offers. I'm Ira. You have a great evening. I will catch you first thing in the morning. Take care.